Welcome everybody to MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Let's take a look at all the overnight action that happened in Asia. A little bit of a muted type of response overnight in Asia. Bottom line is we have a ton of economic data, earnings globally, as well as the ECB going to be out this morning. As a matter of fact, they are actually releasing their interest rate policies. But we did see overnight in Japan that the Bank of Japan came out with their policy statement. They left interest rates flat. They left them basically at the rate on the excess reserves at negative 0.1%. So that is basically no change there. And they left their 10-year bond forecast and target at 0%. So basically, they are keeping everything status quo. They're looking out and saying, hey, you know, we could keep these policies in place for an extended period of time. We're going to start hearing that, I think, consistently from central banks and as such, because right now, things are in a little state of a plateau, let's say, at best. Also, they revised down the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. That's where they group consumer goods, basically plot all the price, group all the prices together, average it out and plot it on a line. They're actually basically lowering it to 1.4%, down from 1.5% in 2017. Not dramatic, but it is something that's notable because when you start to see that consumer prices aren't rising, that starts to lead to the question, is there really, you're starting to see growth? You know, usually inflation is something that could be a precursor or in conjunction with growth. In other words, a supply and demand shift. With that being said, you can see that the Nikkei finished the session down 37.60 at 19,251. Now, basically, you're seeing it trading on its best levels. Really came back after the pullback yesterday or 2 days ago. We'll watch this very closely, but the Nikkei is trading very solidly. You did see that the yen overnight and continues throughout the day, is still trading lower. You see the U.S. dollar Japanese yen pair trading at 111. That's that psychological level that the Japanese will watch. The Bank of Japan will watch very closely. They want to keep it at or above that level. That helps, you know, having the yen down at this level does help exporters. But, you know, you also have to look at this currency and say, well, if it keeps dropping, well, you know, what's the catalyst for that? The U.S. dollar has some strength as well this morning, but still under that $100 mark. Now, taking a look at China and the Shanghai Composite, a quiet session, up about 11 points. That's good for 0.36%. Nothing really notable going on in the mainland markets. Again, we're going to watch China very closely. There is some concern that the People's Bank of China and the government itself are going to be tightening regulatory controls around both investments as well as property and property ownership. So we're going to watch that very closely. But it was a quiet session. Taking a look at Hong Kong, though, the Hang Seng, it was trading up about 120. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at a 1 minute chart, so I apologize. If you look at the daily chart, you can see that it's been trading very solidly to the upside. What was notable, though, is that you did see an Apple supplier. It's called AAC Tech. They were up about 1.7% overnight. We're going to watch that very closely, especially these component suppliers to Apple. Apple is, you know, as the market goes, Apple goes? No, as Apple goes, the market goes. So we'll watch these suppliers, especially since we've seen that large cap tech has been the leader not only in the NASDAQ and getting it to that psychological 6,000 mark, all-time highs. It also just gives a barometer of what's going on universally within the general markets. Taking a look at India and the Sensex, it actually traded down about 103 points at 30,029.74. You're seeing that it's coming off of its highs best levels that it was trading in the last all year so far in 2017. And all-time highs. India has been red hot. We did see a little bit of pressure in the financials in India. We're going to watch that one very closely. All right, folks, that's it for the Overnight Action Report. Join me at 8:45 Eastern, 7:45 Central Time. We are going to be talking all about Europe. See you then here at MarketStream.live.